Good evening, everyone. I'm David Bobzine, the Vice President of the Board of the Reston Association. Your President, Sherry Hebert, could not be here tonight. She is tending her mother, who is quite ill in Florida, so I'm filling in. And I want to welcome all of you to the 2018 members meeting. And we're here tonight in accordance with the Reston Association bylaws that state in Article 3, Section 3.1, the annual meeting of members shall be held on the second Tuesday in April or such other date in April and at such place and time as the Board of Directors may determine. The purposes of the members meeting are to, 1, hear the report of the state of the association, which you'll hear from me this evening, and I got to tell you, it's just going to be pretty much bullet points to aid in getting us through this expeditiously. Receive and hear the results of the election of directors and any other referenda, and thirdly, to receive comments from members. And tonight we're going to accomplish all three of these requirements. But before we go on, I want to address the untimely passing of Ellen Graves. As many of you will remember, it was just a year ago that Ellen was up here receiving flowers from her colleagues for being such an incredible president of the organization. She had been on the board for 4 years as the apartment owner's representative, and she did such an incredible job. And she did so many different things in Reston, and I won't go into great detail, but she was on the Friends of Reston board, Southgate Community Center, Reston Historic Trust and Museum, Fish Board of Directors, and Cornerstone's Housing Corporation, as well as being involved with the Multicultural Festival. And if I can just share one recollection, about 6 years ago when I was the Fairfax County Attorney, Ellen, I believe at the time, was working for Supervisor Hudgens. And she called me one day and she said, this has nothing to do with the county and I'm not looking for legal advice. I just have a problem with a neighbor. And I said, well, what's the problem? And she said, well, it has to do with his sort of intense barbecuing, and it's really kind of interfering with me and my living and my friends. And so we talked about it a little bit, and I said, you can do it the hard way or the easy way. And she came to the realization that maybe the best thing to do would be to go over and try to talk to the neighbor. And I said, that sounds like a great idea. So about 2 weeks later, she shows up in my office, and she has a peace lily. And she said, I went to the neighbor, we talked through it, and now he's my friend. And I just wanted to share this with you and to give you this as a thank you for helping me out. And I said, well, Ellen, I didn't help you out, but I really appreciate the gesture. And I think that symbolized both the fact that she had made peace with her new friend, but also the fact that that's just the way she was. Everything was very collaborative. She met and faced a lot of boundaries that she overcame. And I think it's just very important that we always have just wonderful memories of Ellen Graves. And I would ask that you join me right now in a moment of silence. Thank you. The next order of business, along with the agenda, you should have the minutes from the 2017 annual members meeting, and I would entertain a motion from the floor to approve those minutes. So moved. Is there a second? Second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay, and the minutes of the 2017 annual members meeting are approved. And now I want to turn to a recognition of Reston Association's 2017 Employee of the Year. Each year at the annual meeting, RA honors an employee who has invested their time and taken initiative to make significant contributions to the organization and the community over the course of the year, with consideration given to past achievements and contributions. Employees and RA members are encouraged to nominate RA personnel deserving of this annual recognition, It is from these nominations that the RA staff selects who will be the RA Employee of the Year. And the Employee of the Year is Ali Khatibi. And Ali is over at the RA Central Services facility, and he is the manager of that facility. Would you please join me in applauding Ali? So let me tell you a little bit about Ali. Ali is one of the most positive and helpful employees at RA Central Services facility. There is never a moment when Ali is not 100% ready to help any employee with any task. He proactively seeks out people who need assistance and offers his time and efforts to complete any task. Each day, Ali greets every CSF employee with a smile and positive encouragement. And when members need assistance, Ali is the first person to step up and offer his time. When a crew is short-staffed, Ali will pitch in to make sure the job is completed. Ali gets in there and assists without hesitation, working on equipment, mowing the roadways, clearing pathways, removing dangerous trees, and he was involved with a lot of that on March 1 and 2 when Winter Storm Riley came roaring through. He's simply a jack of all trades. Now, Ali received official recognition at his award in December during RA's holiday staff party. We would like to take the opportunity to congratulate and recognize him publicly tonight before our members at this meeting. And so please join me once again in applauding Ali Khatibi as the Employee of the Year. So now let me turn to the state of the association. And what I'd like to do is focus on 5 strategic planning areas, and I will touch on some in more depth than others, but I want to give you what went on in 2017. And some of these you're going to say, well, you've been doing a lot of this stuff in 2018 as well. So please remember, this is a moment in time, the year 2017, when I tell you about these things. Focus area number 1 is optimizing the member experience. We rolled out the RecTrack registration system. RA launched the association's new online system for activities and program registrations, facility rentals, and pool and tennis pass sales. In 2017, 9,446 RA member household accounts were created in RecTrack to transact business on the site. To date, the number stands at 12,143 and is growing. And we also initiated during 2017 a pilot scanning of pool passes at some RA pools to ensure that only those with passes have access to pools and to eliminate pool pass sharing. You all know that the Stone Turn Group report on Tetra Lake House purchase was delivered to the Board of Directors, and it received the final report on February 28th, and 2017 has been devoted to implementing the report's recommendations. As to the Central Services Facility, in July, the board approved a motion to release $1.35 million in remaining project funds for the CSF renovation. The action directed the RA staff to proceed with the implementation and construction phase of the project. And you all know that in August of 2017, RA held a community meeting to kick off the Hook Road Recreation Area project with the new community engagement plan drafted by the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee and Capital Projects Department. The purpose of the meeting was to present the scope of the planning project, discuss the communications and engagement plan, introduce the design consultant elected to work with stakeholders, and request volunteers to participate in the Hook Road Recreation Area Working Group. And I also might add that at the same time during 2017, project was made on the Pony Barn renovation. And I have the pleasure of informing you that last night the Pony Barn project went before the Design Review Board, and it was approved with nary a comment in sort of very quick time. Pickleball was added. Based on member interest and input, RA Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee brought the fast-growing sport of pickleball to the association in 2017. And we also approved a budget and a reduction in the assessment rate. The RA Board of Directors in November approved the 2018-2019 biennial budget, and with that set the 2018 annual assessment rate at $682, which represents a $10 decrease from the 2017 fee. The RA Board decided to pay off the Lake House loan and to utilize the venue primarily to generate more revenue through rental income opportunities. Let me turn to focus area 2, leading sustainable change. The St. John's Wood project was deferred. After much input from the community, in April 2017, Bozzuto Development Company decided to indefinitely defer the application for redevelopment of the St. John's Wood apartment complex. The PRC density zoning amendment. In October, the Reston Association Board also voted to oppose Fairfax County's proposed planned residential community district residential density zoning ordinance amendment. Association sent a letter to Hunter Mill District Supervisor Kathy Hudgens stating the association's opposition to the PRC amendment. And I have to point out that we continue in dialogue with the county and with Supervisor Hudgens' office over this issue. RA's land use efforts. RA's land use staff and advisory committees have reviewed several development and rezoning applications and provided comments to the Reston Planning and Zoning Committee, the Design Review Board, Fairfax County Planning staff, and others. Two of the larger projects include the Reston Town Center North and the Reston Crescent. Addition of new properties to RA. In February of 2017, the RA Board voted to add a new project, Sunrise Square, by Seekus Homes to Reston Association. The 44-unit development on Sunrise Valley Drive includes common areas and a playground for use by all RA members. The RACER report. In July 2017, the Environmental Advisory Committee's 9-member RACER, R-A-S-E-R, working group presented the RA Board of Directors with an executive summary of Reston's first annual State of the Environment report. This group spent over 1,000 volunteer hours compiling data, drafting the 180-page report, and making policy and management recommendations. The RACER group is hard at work on the second year's report. And I may also add that because of the incredible work they did, it has not gone unnoticed. And at the last board meeting, the Reston Association was presented with the designation of Reston as a biophilic city. And we joined such small communities as Singapore and Auckland, New Zealand. Focus Area 3, fostering community engagement. Volunteer Service Awards. RA conducted the first annual Volunteer Reston Service Awards in April during National Volunteer Month to celebrate and recognize our volunteers and their service to the Reston community. In 2016, Reston volunteers contributed more than 24,000 hours of their time. Volunteers, which number over 1,300 individuals, businesses, and organizations, are from a variety of age groups and possess a wide range of skill sets. Volunteering and community service are deeply rooted in our community's core values, thanks to our founder, Robert E. Simon, Jr. Every year, hundreds of volunteers support RA's mission by serving on the RA Board of Directors, one of our many advisory committees and work groups, helping with special events and programs, or participating in cleanup projects at Reston Lakes, in the neighborhoods, and along the pathways. Volunteers are truly the backbone of Reston. Member Listening Tour. In late spring of 2017, the RA Board of Directors hosted 4 district meetings over the span of 3 weeks. Residents in each district were able to provide feedback and hear updates on a variety of district and community-related topics. Deloitte Impact Day. And I have a visual here. I hope you've read your newest Reston magazine. These are the Deloitte people from the Deloitte Corporation. For 8 years, more than 80 Deloitte employees volunteered their time in early June to revitalize Lake Newport Pool. The volunteers replaced benches inside the facility, removed invasive plants around the entry of the pool, and landscaped. The work was part of the professional services firm's Impact Day, which involves projects around the world in efforts to show their commitment to the local communities around their offices. 2 more to go. Focus Area 4, leveraging technology, Microsoft Office 365 transition. During the last quarter of 2017, RA's IT team transitioned all users to Microsoft Office 365, providing staff with cloud-based software providing greater dependability, enhanced applications, and quote-unquote work anywhere at any time access. Moving to Office 365 has significant fewer technical issues, further reducing RA's reliance on external IT consulting support and operating expenses. And the RA phone system update in October of 2017, the IT team upgraded the association's phone system, expanding capacity and providing features to improve call routing and overall reliability. And lastly, Focus Area 5, managing competing resources, development of procedural manuals. During 2017, RA's finance team, working closely with RA's finance committee, developed procedural manuals to document internal processes and operational steps for 4 key finance areas: payroll, accounts payable, accounts receivables, and capital projects. These manuals now provide consistency and documented processes to guide the RA's finance team. And lastly, the Whistleblower Policy. During the second half of 2017, RA's Finance Committee, led by Board Treasurer Sridhar Ganesan, developed a whistleblower policy for RA that encourages staff and volunteers to come forward with credible information on illegal practices or violations of the organization's adopted policies without fear of retaliation against the individual. And the board approved the whistleblower policy and a substantially revised procurement and purchasing resolution at its last meeting on March 22nd of this year. These are 2 critical steps to the establishment of strong internal controls. And with that, I would like to turn this over to our acting Chief Executive Officer, Robert Wood.
Thank you, David. Hi, everybody. Robert Wood. Not going to speak too much, because I know the main reason everybody's here is to find out the results of the election. So I've practiced this speech several times, and I've managed to get it down to 19 minutes. And I hope that's okay. No, in all seriousness, I'm going to take about 2 minutes. So thank you first to all the volunteers, specifically on the board. I've worked with several of you over the last 3 years, specifically this last year. And there's a lot of time and effort that actually goes into being a volunteer on either a committee or actually on the board. Lots of time spent with Sridhar, in particular with everything that David's just been rattling off. Finance had a busy year last year. We achieved a lot. Also, a big thanks to the senior leadership team who has helped me in this position, not only doing the CFO role, but also as the acting CEO. Without all your support, I couldn't do 2 jobs at the same time. So thanks for that. The setup today, thanks to Mark Leone, Sabrina, as well as member services for getting the whole venue sorted out today and having everything ready. I'm going to very, very quickly go through some items that was more of a financial focus last year. David's already spent a lot of time talking about them. We had a really good successful audit, hoping to do that again this coming year for the 2017 results. As mentioned, we designed and implemented a lot of better controls with the fiscal committee. A lot of on-site work done by fiscal committee members, specifically focused in the policy procedure manuals of accounts receivable, accounts payable, payroll, and the capital projects. Several of the accounting staff have been around Reston Association more than 20 years. And they've said this last year they've seen more change in the financial controls in Reston Association than they've seen in the last 20 years. So that actually says a lot of all the work that's actually gone into the actual controls. Special thanks to Sridhar. We've worked closely together. People joke that we should actually have an office for you at the association, but thanks again. It's been good working with you this last year. We've achieved quite a bit as David went through. Resolution 7 got passed. Whistleblower mechanism that got passed. That's going to be implemented in the next couple of weeks. And with that, I'm going to keep quiet. I think the real reason we're here today is to find out the results of the election. And
but before we do that, it's time for member comment.
That's true. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Let me just say that Robert has done a magnificent job. We knew he would, but he certainly has not disappointed us. In fact, he's exceeded our expectations. Are there any comments from members? Yes, ma'am. Could you please stand? We got a roving microphone.
Well, I can use the microphone. I'm actually going to ask you, we have an extraordinary staff here. I would like it if you would have each of them stand up and tell us their name and what it is they do for Reston Association.
Could you pass it around, Laura? You do that.
My name's Laura Kowalski. I'm the Director for Recreation and Environmental Education.
And Mike?
Good evening. I'm Mike Leone, Director of Communications and Community Engagement.
Larry?
I have this mic.
You have your own mic, Larry.
Yeah, I have my own mic. I'll pass it around. Larry Butler, Senior Director for Land Use and Planning.
Sabrina.
My name is Sabrina Tadelli. I'm the Board and Committee Liaison.
Anna.
Anna Varan, Director of Governance Administration.
And here is our newest member, our new in-house counsel.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Champ. You can call me Tony. I'm General Counsel for the association.
I guess I'm last. I'm Sean Brahmi, Media Manager.
Thank you very much for asking for that. Yep. Okay.
I'm Shalise. I work the RA Programs Registrar.
There's Ha.
I'm Ha Brock. I'm the Volunteer Reston Manager. I manage our volunteer program.
Great.
Someone who's walking away is Jim Elder, and he's one of our tennis pros.
So, Jim Elder, I'm a seasonal tennis pro, part-time, my 22nd year with RA.
You count. Thank you. Are there any other comments? Tammy. Sure. We got two of them coming.
I see a couple of derelicts here I'd like to thank. Members of the DRB who are long serving, will you gentlemen stand up, and anyone else who is here from the DRB. Also, next on April 23rd, Coalition for a Planned Reston will be meeting in this room to plan next steps to discuss the planned residential community cap. And we hope that every single one of you and more will be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Tammy. Are there any other comments? Yes, sir.
I wonder if you could tell us who's on the executive search committee and when you expect to make a decision.
I don't think that, well, I can say that we're moving right along. I don't think we have completely fleshed out who is going to be on the executive search committee. So that's in progress, but we are actively involved with posting it and trying to get candidates. That's high on our agenda, both a chief executive officer and that's what we're trying to do right now. Okay, with that, I am going to ask to come forward the chairman of the Elections Committee, Karen Anton.
Thank you, David. As you just heard, I'm Karen Anton. I am chair of the Elections Committee, and I am here to announce the results of the 2018 Board of Directors election, which were tabulated by IntelliScan, the association's third-party counting agents. As most of you know, or some of you may know, in the past we have notified the candidates of the results prior to this meeting. This year it was our decision to present the results to everyone at the same time. Because tonight we come together to recognize every candidate. We understand and appreciate the effort all of you put forth during this hard-fought campaign, and we applaud you for that. Now that the election is over, it's our hope that the entire membership will join us in this recognition regardless of the outcome. So candidates, if you are in the room, would you please stand? Thank you so much, and I'm very glad. I think you are all here. I'm very glad to see that. I would also like to go off script for a minute and just acknowledge my fellow committee members who are here, Ed Abbott and Mike Martin. Thank you for your hard work and support. Okay, the required 10% quorum was successfully reached early on in the voting period for all three races, which is great. 2 at-large seats for a term of 3 years each, 1 at-large seat for a term of 1 year, and 1 seat from the South Lakes District. This table that is about to appear, there it is, shows the voter turnout by race. This year we saw a 19% turnout for Reston generally, and even higher turnout in some of the districts. So thank you to those who voted for participating in the local governance of your community. Now on to the results. So when I call your name, please stand. The winner of the South Lakes District race with 1,485 votes is Julie Bitzer. The winner of the at-large race for a term of 1 year with 2,766 votes is Andy Siegel. And finally, the 2 winners of the at-large race for terms of 3 years with 3,476 and 3,182 votes respectively are Sridhar Ganesan and Ven Iyer. Congratulations to Sridhar, Ven, Andy, and Julie. We wish you well as you step into these important roles of leadership for the Reston community. And thank you to all the candidates for your commitment and willingness to serve. I encourage you to stay engaged in the many opportunities to get involved in Reston. Detailed results reports will be made available in the back of the room after the meeting has adjourned, and the full election results will be viewable shortly on the RA website. I would now like to introduce the members of Reston Association's 2018 Board of Directors. Would you please come up to the front of the room? David Bobzian, Apartment Owners Representative. Eric Carr, At-Large Director. Sridhar Ganesan, At-Large Director. Ven Iyer, At-Large Director. Andy Siegel, At-Large Director. Julie Bitzer, South Lakes District Director. Not present tonight, but Sherry Abear, Lake Ann Tall Oaks District Director. John Mooney, North Point District Director. and Victoria White, Hunters Woods Dogwood District Director. So the first board meeting is tomorrow, April 11th at 6:30 p.m. at Reston Association's headquarters right here at 12001 Sunrise Valley Drive. And the board members will be electing their new slate of officers, president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. The Elections Committee will be meeting over the next month, beginning on April 17th, to consider improvements to the election process, and we'll be making recommendations to the Board of Directors this summer. We welcome your suggestions and comments. You may email us at electionscommittee@reston.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're going to be breaking in about 2 minutes. I just want to thank Karen and her committee for an outstanding job. We want to recognize before we adjourn that we are having 2 members of our board go off tonight. Mike Sanyo, could you come up? Mike has served not 1 but 2 3-year terms. So our hats off to him. And he has done an incredible job. And our other member that's leaving us tonight is John Bowman. And John was not with us for a very long time, but he made invaluable contributions, especially in strengthening our purchasing and procurement operations. So thank you very much, John. So Mike and John will be formally recognized later this month during the RA's Volunteer Service Awards. That will occur on April 19th, and I hope that you can join us. That will take place at the Lake House, and we'll be able to honor and recognize our fantastic volunteers who give thousands of hours in the service of our community. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.